So I'm really excited about sharing some stuff that I got off of a website called Spoonflower.com. You can actually use a painting or make a digital painting and then design your own fabric, wallpaper, or gift wrap. And as someone who paints and as someone who has also painted on fabric, this is a very exciting concept to me, that I can take a painting and print it straight onto fabric and then perhaps make something out of it, like bed sheets or dresses or pillows or whatnot. So I see that they have an eco canvas sample, a peel and stick wallpaper sample, and a water activated wallpaper sample. And one of the wallpapers feels more like cloth and wipeable, and the other one feels more like some kind of smooth paper. So I think I like the peel and stick one better because it looks like it's wipeable and tougher, and probably I could stick it on a wall and wipe it off if I wanted to. There's also a matte gift wrap and a satin gift wrap if you want to have your own custom gift wrap. And I think that's exciting too. If you're giving somebody an artwork for a gift, you can wrap it in your custom gift wrap, and I think that's exciting. And now, to me, this is the most exciting part because there's all sorts of different fabric swatches here. And to me, this just looks like blank paper, except for instead of painting on the paper, you're going to have a painting and they're going to print it onto this fabric. So your fabric is like your blank canvas. So you can see all the different kinds of fabric, and actually at the back of all the swatches they show you what kind of fabrics they are, from cotton or linen or polyester, and they offer a handful of different fabrics. And so you can order this swatch. I got it I think for $1, and then you can look through the fabrics and touch them and see what kind of fabric you want. I also ordered from them a little color chart because I noticed that it was a popular sell on their website, and I think that it was a good idea because I can see all the different colors, and they said these are some of the best colors that come out when printed on fabric. So I think it's a handy color chart to have so that when you're designing a painting that's going to be printed on fabric, you try to see what kind of colors might show up best once they're printed. I don't know that you'd have too many problems with that if you used bright colors, but it's good to have this on hand. So I'm doing this for the first time, so I've never used this website before, so I'm actually really excited also to have tried sending them some swatches of some test textiles that I sort of created quickly, and I did 26 different little textiles that I created, and then I had them printed out on 8x8-inch test swatches. And I can see here that the colors are taking really well, and this is the poly crepe de chine fabric, and it feels really smooth, like georgette or some kind of chiffon, but very smooth. And you can, have a scarf made out of this or something. And so also a blouse or a nice flowy dress. It's not stretchy, but it's a very soft fabric. And also, again, I did this painting recently, and I put a section of it onto here as a textile, and the colors are really replicating very well. So I'm very happy with how the colors look here. Looks like the fireflies, the trunks, the color I put in the background is all captured very well here. So I didn't do any kind of color adjustment to this particular swatch or this test textile. So I'm really impressed that it printed that well. And I think the other two are just sort of silly. They're, too many moons and stuff, but it's good to have that just on hand. And I'm really seeing that this fabric crumples up nicely. I can't feel the paint on it or the printer ink on it. It's very smooth. There's no stiffness to the pile of this. There's no the way that I've had when I've painted fabric paint on certain things before, and the fabric feels stiffer. That's not happening here at all. So here's the second set of test swatches I had printed out, and again, I do think this is a good idea because I don't know if some of these are going to print out very well, so to test them first before I print them out large I think is a better idea. I did these diamonds with gold paint, and even though it's not metallic when it prints out, I do think it captures the fact that it was a goldish paint when it printed out. So I do like that. I think I also see that I have to fix the background and make it so that it's not an off-white but a pure white, so I think it looks sharper contrast, like this green piece here, which works perfectly because I think the white is in better contrast in the background. And this is actually interesting because I see the seam there. And again, I think I'm going to have to be careful about tiling fabric because this is the first time I've done that, but obviously that needs to be mirror tiled and not repeat tiled in a different way so that I don't see the seam between the sections. And I really like all of the purple swatches. I think they're showing up really nicely. Again, I think I might fix the contrast in the background so that it's not off-white, so that it's actually pure white like the actual fabric that you see around the printed part. So I think it'll make for a prettier, more contrasting fabric. And again, I think that's something that I'm glad I printed a test swatch out, otherwise I would feel like I wasted some money if I didn't really like the color. I like this gold one a lot. I do again see that there are really nice golds and ochres being picked up from the watercolor, but I don't like that seam, and I think I'm going to change the way that that tile is also being repeated. See the seam in this one too. It's not so noticeable from far away, but close up you can see it. I think all of these designs will look really good on a dress or on pillowcases or on cozies. I think some of the more cool embellished ones will make really nice dresses or leggings. I think this one is a little bit too busy for anything but a cozy, but I think this top one here, this one I called Raja Pillow, I think it'll be great for bed sheets or pillows because it really picks up the gold and the ochre and the watercolor, and it makes it look like it's metallic even though it's not. This has a two-way stretch, so it stretches horizontally, but it does not stretch vertically. And it's a very smooth fabric. I think this is the Performance Knit or Performance Peak. This is the Performance Peak fabric. So I do like this, and because they don't really have a satin, they're out of the satin right now, I think I could print pillowcases on this because I like satin or silk pillowcases. So I wanted to show before I put away this set of swatches that I actually also played around with making this the two dots and those Arabic letters into a tiled textile print on the left there, and you'll notice that because I increased the contrast and got rid of the off-white background and made it pure white, it looks so much brighter and so much cleaner than that. So even though that was on the original watercolor and it looked fine on the watercolor paper, on the fabric it looks dirtier because that's just how it scans and prints. So I'm going to make sure for all of my off-white backgrounds to fix that. And again, I think that's the only fix I need to do. Looks like all the colors are otherwise doing very well. Okay, so now I've got this last bit of swatches, and this is the third fabric that I tested for the swatches, and this is cotton poplin, and feels very much like cotton poplin blouses that I have that are for more formal blouses for work and stuff. And I really like this textile, and I think it would make a very pretty dress, so that's another one of those sort of, even though I was doing these as just test swatches, some of these have turned out very pretty. I like these fireflies in the sky too. I think that would make a very nice pillowcase. It would look like it's stars or fireflies on a pillowcase. I also like these butterflies. The larger butterfly and the smaller butterfly depends on what you're printing. You know, if it's bed sheets, the larger butterfly, and also for dresses, probably the smaller butterfly. But these were done in gelatos in a project that I did a few weeks ago, and I'm really surprised again how well the fabric is holding the texture and the look of those gelatos for those stained glass Art Nouveau pieces that I did. So it's really very exciting. I think that given that I don't have to fix very much, this is going to be really exciting because it looks like it takes watercolor scans very well. It's just a washy watercolor floral print, and I think that would make a very pretty summer dress, as with this greeny sort of leaves and sky print. And here's just a sky print, which would make probably a nice relaxing pillowcase. And I really am partial to these cattails. They actually look like diamonds on both sides, and they continue as a tile the way that I took the section, and I think they would make really, really cool bed sheets, honestly. So again, I really like how it looks very original and has that watercolor look to it. I also wanted to show this last swatch, which is actually the same print that I have, except for that one of them has had the color corrected and one of them has not. So you can see how the one on the left is very bright and the one on the right is dull, even though, again, the duller version looked fine as a watercolor painting. It doesn't print well. So just keep in mind that some of these pieces will need tweaking just a little bit on Preview or iPhoto or Photoshop with just the color. Nothing too extensive, and others will not. So you should order the test swatches. I'm also just measuring here the size of these swatches, which is exactly 8 by 8, because I want to see how much this fabric shrinks when I wash it. And after I wash it, I'll be ready to sew if this was a real yardage of fabric and instead of just a test swatch. So I want to see also if the colors fade, and I will check back in with you guys about that.